All right, butter the popcorn because the latest twist in the fleeing Texas Democrat saga is going to absolutely blow you away. We have our first official arrest of one of these derelict Democrats, and the way it's playing out just proves how completely unhinged this party has become. After 50-plus Democrats fled the state like fugitives to avoid doing their jobs, they all eventually came crawling back, but here's the kicker. They were forced to sign literal permission slips, like kindergartners, to be allowed to leave the Capitol building. House Speaker Dustin Burrows had a little surprise waiting for these derelict Democrats. Every single one of them who wanted to leave the Capitol building yesterday had to sign what's essentially a permission slip. I'm not kidding. Actual permission slips that put them under 24/7 surveillance by Texas Department of Public Safety officers. Now, just think about this for a second. These are elected officials who just proved they can't be trusted to show up for work. So now they literally need police escorts to follow them around to make sure they don't run away again. So they had to sign off on that. They had to sign off on basically a hall pass just to leave the state capitol. And they had, as part of that, they had to agree of having these state troopers accompany them, surveil them to make sure they didn't skip town again. And they did. Virtually all of these Texas Democrats signed it. They agreed to it, except for one. One Democrat found this so utterly humiliating she couldn't take it. She refused to sign. And as a result, she literally got locked inside the state capitol. She was not allowed to leave. Representative Nicole Collier, one of the Texas Democrats that skipped town, was locked in the state house chambers all last night, effectively arrested by Texas officials who are not allowing her to leave the state capitol without signing that slip and agreeing to police surveillance. She actually took a picture of herself spending the night locked in the legislative chambers, or better, somebody took a picture of her. I wonder who. I mean, she obviously wasn't there alone. Someone was there to take the picture. Again, is there anything these Democrats ever do that isn't staged? Speaking of, here's the bought and paid for progressive protesters in another cringe fest inside the Texas state capitol. Now you'll notice immediately the twisted, perverted sense of privilege and entitlement these Democrats have. These Democrats had to sign a literal permission slip before they were allowed to leave the Texas House floor yesterday, precisely because they have already wasted hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars with their little 14-day field trip. And for these bought and paid for protesters, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Wasting hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars, all the while denying flood relief to the victims of that horrific disaster some weeks back. That's all fine. And it's fine because the Democrats are trying to save democracy. They're trying to save democracy from these Republican autocrats, these authoritarians, and they're trying to save democracy by running away from it. By literally running away from the very legislative process they claim they are the guardians of. And then they justify all of it, including the state representative getting locked up in the House chambers. They justify it all by playing the victim card. They're the victims. They're the oppressed. And therefore, they somehow are always right, no matter how absurd they become. It is malignant narcissism at its grossest. But the most absurd part in all of this, gang, is yet to come. Wait until you see this. But first, are you finding that allergies are keeping you up at night, turning your nights into a nightmare? Well, meet Sambrosa Sweet Dreams Night Syrup. This is your ticket to a sleep paradise. This isn't just any syrup. It's a unique blend of pure natural honey, soothing organic herbs, and a touch of doxylamine, a trusted antihistamine that tackles those pesky nighttime symptoms. So whether it's sneezing, congestion, or itchy eyes keeping you up, Sambrosia's got you covered. Take it before bed and let its gentle formula help you drift off and stay asleep. This stuff is absolutely amazing. Wake up feeling refreshed, not groggy, and the best part, it starts at just $11.99. No prescriptions, no hassle, just natural relief. Visit the link below and use code Turley for 25% off and finally enjoy the sleep you deserve. Click on that link below right now.
The speaker announced, once quorum was restored, that the call of the House would remain, and any member that was out because of the quorum break would be required to sign a permission slip agreeing to be under the authority of DPS in order to leave the Capitol. I refused. I refused to sign the permission slip to be able to leave the Capitol. I disagree with that authoritarian tactic that they have taken. As being part of the minority party, we don't have a lot of victories, but we do have our principles. We still have our dignity, and we still have the right to protest and resist.
Yeah. Well, that so-called right to protest and resist is translating into cringe stunts that is they're only alienating you and your party from more and more of voters across the country. She actually went on to complain, if you could believe it. She went on to complain about how this police surveillance of the derelict Democrats was a waste of taxpayer resources. I mean, seriously, just think of the audacity of that statement. Just how completely narcissistically unaware it is. You're the reason this is necessary. You just proved that you cannot be trusted to show up for work without running to another state, the most gerrymandered state of all, after all. Your antics cause it. You are the waste of taxpayer dollars. You, Collier. And of course, the state representative is now referring to herself as a, quote, political prisoner. A political prisoner for facing the consequences of her own actions. I mean, for heaven's sakes, this is a grown woman having a public tantrum, a meltdown, because she doesn't want to be held accountable for her own actions. But here's what makes the whole situation, for me, peak Democrat absurdity. These lawmakers fled the state, abandoning their duties while Texas was dealing with deadly flooding that killed over 130 people. Real emergencies, real legislation needed. But Democrats prioritize political theater. Then they come back. They get welcomed like heroes by a bunch of 70-year-old white bougie women for literally abandoning their posts. And then they act outrage when there are consequences for all of that. They're basically saying we should be able to run away from our jobs whenever we want, but don't you dare treat us like the flight risks that we just proved ourselves to be. Don't you dare. We are above accountability. And the cherry on top, Democrats are calling the permission slip requirement, of course, Jim Crow tactics. They're comparing basic accountability measures to historical oppression. Again, the victim-derived privilege they claim for themselves is utterly staggering. And it failed. It failed miserably. This whole stunt accomplished absolutely nothing. The redistricting maps are going to pass. Republicans have the votes. They have the quorum. and they're moving forward with it. The only thing these Democrats ultimately accomplish is guaranteeing at least 5 new Republican seats. All this drama, all this taxpayer money wasted on police escorts, all this national embarrassment for what? We talked about this just yesterday and how Trump is breaking Gavin Newsom. It looks like California's counter redistricting measure won't even pass. The latest poll from Politico is an absolute disaster for greasy-haired Gavin. It's frankly humiliating. 64% of Californians, the supermajority, said they will be voting against Newsom's new maps in the upcoming referendum. 64%. That includes over 70% of independents. Only 36% of respondents said they supported Newsom's plan to let Sacramento politicians gerrymander their own districts. 2/3 say no. Even Democrats are admitting that their main victory in all of this was just delaying the inevitable. 2 weeks of vacation, thousands of dollars in fines, arrest warrants, police escorts, all to delay a vote they were going to lose anyway. What Nicole Collier accidentally revealed is the true face of modern Democratic politics. When they can't win through democratic processes, they simply refuse to participate in democracy. When there are consequences for their actions, they play the victim. When accountability is demanded, they claim oppression. This isn't principled resistance. It's a taxpayer-funded temper tantrum by people who think rules don't apply to them. And the fact that other Democrats are cheering this behavior tells you everything you need to know about where this party is right now. So what do you guys think? Is Nicole Collier a principled resistor or just getting her just desserts? Let me know in the comments section below. And as always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button for breaking news and analysis you're not going to hear anywhere else. God bless. Have you locked in your seat from my America Awakened Masterclass yet? Because seats are filling up fast. This is your shot to grab our Freedom Week discount before the price goes up. This isn't scripted, it isn't safe, and it sure as heck isn't censored. It's real, it's raw, and it's unapologetically patriotic, just like the early days of Turley Talks that helped ignite a movement. But listen, this discount won't last. Click the link, claim your spot, and join the rising tide of Americans reclaiming faith, family, and freedom. Let's light the fire of liberty and awaken America together.